So you may have been playing around with Unreal or Unity and going through some tutorials, doing some sample projects, and really getting a feel for what it's like to be in game development. My career has been in both AAA and in indie, so I can give you a perspective from both sides and kind of outline what might work for you and what might not work for you. So first of all, to get this out of the way, this is an artistic medium, meaning that anytime you're doing anything in the arts, whether it's music or film or writing or in game development, it's very much a situation where you have to put in a ton of time and you might not get anything back. There is no real guarantee that you're gonna get a return on your time investment. You really have to just be good. You have to put in the time to get really good at what you're doing. So the cool thing is though, it's really fun. If you can find the fun in what you're doing and learning, and you wanna just put a lot of time into it, and it's so meaningful for you, and that kind of creates this really nice flywheel, so to speak, of learning and then growing in power, and then applying that to your own artwork or your own project. It can become very addicting, and it gets to the point where it's hard to sleep because you keep thinking about all these cool things that you could do. When you're in that sort of a phase, if that's what's happening, if spending time in 3D or in Unity or Unreal, hours go by without you even noticing, that's a sign that this is maybe something that is for you, because it means that you're having fun. It means that you're enjoying the process, and that is super important in this. I think the more time you put into something, you create talent that way. Your interest, your passion, and your time all kind of become this like spear that just shoots forward. And I think that's what it is. So if you have all of those forces working for you, you can have a lot of success in this industry. You don't need to be the biggest project on the Steam platform, for example, to find success. I've been doing this for as long as I have, and you have no idea who I am. So it just goes to show that there is room for success here. And again, if you go into working for a studio, especially a large studio, you could find that you're making a very good living in the six-figure range for long periods of time, especially if you're on a project that's doing very well. And I've been on projects that have done well, and I've seen how those teams treat each other. Like, for example, when I was working on Mortal Kombat, those guys had been on the project at that point for over a decade, and the amount of respect that they had for each other and for the project was really key. Those guys worked really long hours. They were proud to be making a living making a project that they had created and was loved by so many. You could tell the creatives who are in a position that they really like, they hold on to that, and it's a very sacred thing to be able to find stability, success, and creative freedom is a very rare thing, and to be protected. So that occurs, and I've worked with people like that. I've experienced that myself for the last probably since 2012. So the last 12 years now has been a lot of creative freedom and a lot of doing what I want to do and exploring what I want. And I love that. I think another thing that's really cool about being in the creative industry and working as an artist, as an indie game developer, is that you're always learning something new. I've had jobs, I've worked on assembly lines where you're just doing the same thing every single day. And I think if I hadn't had jobs like that, I might not appreciate the kind of creative freedom I have now. And so I do what I can to protect it. Like, if you're doing the same thing, if you're working a mundane job, it'll really sort of set your perspective. You'll no longer complain that Unity's graphics aren't as good as Unreal's, or Unreal's scripting in C# or C++ is too hard to learn. You will cherish the time that you have to spend on your project. It is a gift that we're able to work on such amazingly powerful computers that are not super expensive, that we can download this software for free and we could play with this, and there's these open markets we can go to. It's never really happened before, even through the game industry, but you look at human history, it's sort of a fluke that we have this opportunity. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of competition, but your idea is great. You have the drive and dedication, passion to do it. There's no reason why you can't succeed. So if you thrive on learning new things and you don't want to do the same thing over and over again, then this is definitely something worth looking into. It could get to the point of overwhelm because there's just so much to learn. There's so many skills. You need to find a way to be comfortable in that situation and just kind of roll with it. There's always going to be more to learn, and you might not be at the level that you want at any specific time, but the earth keeps turning, right? And you need to finish that project. Time is always going to be against you, always. You think it's going to take you a week, it takes you a month. You think it's going to take you 2 months, it takes you a year. Meanwhile, the audience is going on a whole different time scale. I like to think of it like the movie Inception, where there's those layers of consciousness, and then time goes slower the deeper you go. For us, right, like as creatives, we're working a couple layers deep, but up above is the audience, and they're working, they're seeing things super fast, and we're going like crazy slow because we're not able to create as fast as it takes to consume it. I mean, it's a mismatch, and that's actually one of the things that I'm trying to always combat is how could I produce faster because my consumption is so fast. You want it almost equal, right? But that's impossible unless we get to the point where AI is just spitting everything out for us. We don't have to do anything. But I think that's a long way off. Again, there's no reason you can't find success if you do everything right and you put in the time, you put in the passion, and your project stacks up and you're able to get it out there in the right way. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one.